Comptroller General of Customs should hasten the investigation on the shooting of the vehicle.
Senate beams searchlight on customs operations in border communities.
The Inspector General of Police has ordered the restriction of all forms of vehicular movement on roads.
Preparation for off-cycle elections gathers momentum. Security agencies unfold strategies. Plus, DG NYC visits Maiduguri camp after successful hosting of first exercise after 12 years. Hello and a warm welcome to NTA Network News at 9. I'm Henry John and we're live in Abuja. Adela Komiokere joins me from Lagos. Thank you for joining us. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of 3 new executive commissioners in the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission and the redeployment of 1 current executive commissioner pending their confirmation by the Nigerian Senate. Mr. Bashir Indabawa, representing Northwest, is now Executive Commissioner, Exploration and Acreage Management. Dr. Kelechi Ofuegbo, Southeast, has been redeployed Corporate Services Administration. Inorense Amadasu, South-South, Executive Commissioner, Development and Production, while Babajide Fashino from the Southwest is Executive Commissioner, Economic Regulation and Strategic Planning. A statement from the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajuru Ngelale, the President approved the reshuffling and replacement based on his informed assessment of all factors concerning the sector with a view to establishing a regulatory framework and culture across the industry. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Dr. Abdul Mukhtar as a National Coordinator of the Presidential Unlocking Healthcare Value Chain Initiative, domiciled under the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. The initiative, says the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajuru Ngelale, seeks to unlock billions of dollars of new investment into the nation's healthcare delivery system. The statement indicates that Dr. Mukhtar holds a doctorate in biotechnology from Boston University, USA, a master's in business administration from Harvard Business School, USA, a master's in public policy from Harvard's Kennedy School of Government, and a medical degree from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Dr. Mukhtar comes to the task as immediate past Director of Industry and Trade at the African Development Bank, AFDB, and had served a 4-year tenure as CEO of FCTA, Abuja Investment Company Limited. The President expects the National Coordinator of this new cross-ministerial initiative to bring to bear his vast experience and academic qualifications in the effective execution of this essential national assignment in accordance with the renewed hope agenda of his administration. Now, heading to the National Assembly, the Senate has urged the federal government to lift the 20-kilometer ban on sale of petroleum products in border communities to alleviate economic hardship in areas affected. It also asked the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service to investigate and review activities of officials engaged in special operations at entry points to ensure that standard procedures are adhered to. National Assembly correspondent Lamiali reports.
These resolutions adopted by the Senate were among recommendations of the ad hoc committee set up to investigate allegations of abuse of firearms by officials of the Nigeria Customs Service manning posts in border communities.
In contravention with the Customs Act and the standard operational procedures, shoot at innocent citizens, raid markets, and chase smugglers into towns, leading to chaos and loss of lives, a case of Jibia, Idiruku, and Ishen.
The Comptroller General of Customs should hasten the investigation on the shooting of the vehicle of the Chief of Staff to the Governor of Katsina State. Those in favor of this recommendation say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Senate also resolved to investigate the Federal Civil Service Commission over alleged discrepancies in recruitment and deployment of officials as moved by Senator Titus Zam.
Allegations of favoritism, nepotism, as well as illegal recruitment or employment into the civil service are reported. The Committee on Establishment and Public Service Matters and the Committees of Labor, Employment and Productivity to carry out a holistic investigation on this matter.
The Israeli-Palestine crisis was also raised through a joint motion with Senator Kawu Sumaila taking the lead. The lawmakers urge federal government to, alongside other countries and the United Nations, ensure a ceasefire.
There has been horrifying and horrendous figures of casualties from both sides, with almost 65 press men was killed.
A quick resolution of this conflict so that the world may be at peace.
Palestine and Israel should come together, accept the two-state solution.
The Senate Committee on Federal Roads Management Agency has screened chairman and board members of the agency, tasking them to be diligent.
We are going to demand the very level best from you.
The nominees pledged to justify their appointments by ensuring accountability in management of federal roads. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And in the Green Chamber, there is a call for urgent military action to checkmate the resurgence of terrorist activities in the northeast and other parts of the country. This followed several motions adopted on the floor of the House. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikben brings us details.
Lawmakers note that recent terrorist attacks on communities in Borno and Yobe states have left some rice farmers killed and several others missing, while calling for military intervention.
On Saturday, 4th November 2023, heavily armed Boko Haram terrorists attacked Zabarmari farmers in their rice field working in the village of Koshebe, Karkut, Bulabulin of Jere/Mafa local government area of Borno State.
Violent gangs have set up camps in and around Ogu and Ocha community in Obaru Federal Constituency, sacked the residents, kidnapped the traditional ruler, killed and maimed many unchallenged.
To urge the military to fortify security in Gaidam and in Nusari local governments and all other local government areas in northern Yobe.
Revisit the report of the 9th House of Representatives Special Committee on National Security, review the document and consider its recommendations.
Motion is referred to the Committee on Army and Disaster and Management Preparedness.
Other motions to bridge infrastructure gaps were adopted and referred to relevant committees for legislative compliance.
On the urgent need for immediate relief and rehabilitation of 300 meters collapsed bridge linking Asabase community in Indokwa East local government area of Delta State and Uzere in Isoko South local government area of Delta State.
Also note that the deplorable state of the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway from Abule-Egba to Songo, which has become a death trap for motorists and commuters.
Urge the Federal Ministry of Works to, as a matter of urgency, rehabilitate the Dukudara-Zogombe Road and upgrade the road to Tronke in the list of federal roads in Nigeria.
Meanwhile, the House Committee on Pensions at its inaugural meeting has pledged to investigate the failure of employers to meet pension obligations.
Developing a sustainable pension scheme for the teaching service at all tiers of government and also recommending rescue mechanism for payment of outstanding pensions to teachers in Nigeria.
The committee says its work plan will be made public soon. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Away from the National Assembly now, taking a look at electoral matters, and of course we're focused on the off-cycle elections. INEC's preparation for the 3 off-cycle governorship elections in Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi states. The Commission has made available information booklet, list of polling units and political party agents. The information booklet contains infographic summary of registered voters and permanent voters cards collected by local government areas, as well as the distribution of registered voters by gender, age group, occupation and disability. The publication also includes the list of candidates and detailed information on the 2 polling units in Bayelsa and 38 in Imo State without registered voters. On the list of polling and collation agents, 16 political parties are sponsoring candidates for the election in Bayelsa State and 18 in both Imo and Kogi states. The elections will be held in 10,470 polling units. However, at the close of the deadline for uploading the list of agents to the INEC dedicated portal by political parties, 34,704 agents were uploaded for Bayelsa State, 65,274 for Imo State, and 37,995 for Kogi State, making a total of 137,973 polling and collation agents for the 3 states. Similarly, the Independent and National Electoral Commission, INEC, has issued an amended list of candidates for the upcoming Bayelsa State governorship election. The updated list now includes the names of Timipre Silva and his running mate, Joshua Makiva, who are contesting on the All Progressives Congress APC platform. This move comes after a series of legal developments. The Federal High Court in Abuja had on October 10 disqualified Timipre Silva from participating in the state governorship election. The court's judgment cited Silva's previous 2 terms as governor, totaling 5 years in office, which would breach the 1999 constitution if he was allowed to run for office again. The Court of Appeal later set aside the earlier judgment, prompting INEC to update the candidates list in compliance with Section 287 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Army has conducted a show of force in Yenagoa to demonstrate its preparedness for a peaceful and hate-free election in Bayelsa State come November 11, 2023. The General Officer commanding 6th Division Nigerian Army, Land Component, Port Harcourt Commander, Joint Task Force South-South Operation Delta Safe, Major General Jamal Abdusalam, says the exercise is to build confidence in citizens that security of lives and property will be of priority to security agencies. Baratu Pere Awe brings us details.
The show of force carried out along major roads in Yenagoa and Ogbia local government areas of Bayelsa State by the Nigerian Army and sister security agencies including the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, is to send a message of assurance to citizens of the readiness of security operatives to protect them and ensure a peaceful atmosphere for credible governorship elections in Bayelsa State. General Officer Commanding 6th Division, Nigerian Army, Land Component and Commander Joint Task Force South-South Operation Delta Safe, Major General Jamal Abdusalam speaks on the essence of the exercise. The
essence of this exercise is just to send a signal to everybody that we're here and we are ready.
The exercise, according to him, is also a strong message to those who might want to make trouble during the election to perish the thought.
Indeed, we are aware of areas that are flashpoints for, during and after elections, and we have made adequate plans to tackle those issues when they come.
This is not the first time the security agencies in Bayelsa State are making public their readiness to provide adequate security before, during and after the state governorship election, insisting that the cooperation of the people is necessary for them to achieve their targets. In Yenagoa, Baratwai Pre Awi, NTA News.
And still on security for the off-cycle election, the Nigeria Police Force says it's fully committed to ensuring that the Saturday governorship elections in Kogi, Imo and Bayelsa states are free, fair, secure and credible. First Public Relations Officer at a media briefing told journalists that the force has strategically deployed its personnel and assets to the 3 states.
The Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Department of Training and Development, DIG Frank Emeka Umba MNI, has been deployed to oversee elections in Imo State. DIG Abusani, in charge of the Department of Force Intelligence, to Kogi State. And DIG Daniel Sokari Pedro, in charge of the Department of Information and Communication Technology to Bayelsa State. Also, the Inspector General of Police has ordered the restriction of all forms of vehicular movement on roads, waterways, and other forms of transportation from 12:01 a.m. to 6 p.m. on election day, that is 11th of November 2023 in the affected states, with the exception of those on essential services.
The IGP also wants all security aides and escorts to desist from accompanying their principals and politicians to polling booths and collation centers during the election, as anyone found flouting this directive will be severely sanctioned. Force PRO also reminded citizens that the ban on the unauthorized use of sirens, revolving lights, covered number plates and tinted glasses is still in force, and violators will be sanctioned appropriately. All state-established security outfits and organizations, quasi-security units, and privately owned guard and security outfits are also barred from participating in election security management. Away from the off-cycle elections now, Nigeria and the United Kingdom are joining forces to curb threats in the aviation industry and the unmanned aerial system defense. Correspondent Ismail Musa reports that this is in view of the rapid development in the aviation industry and the possible misuse of drones.
It is more than 22 years since the September 11 terrorist attack in the U.S., but the memories of the impact of the tragic incident remains fresh.
Terrorists and their affiliates have also weaponized transportation networks and means to commit acts of terror.
This sensitization and building of operational and tactical capacity of aviation stakeholders is aimed at preventing and ensuring effective response to terrorist acts against transportation.
It is imperative that we develop an in-depth understanding of this threat and work towards to devise robust and proactive strategies to mitigate the adverse challenges in order to strengthen our aviation security.
The forum also deliberates on modalities for countering drone threats to aviation in view of the rapid development in the unmanned aerial system, with emphasis on misuse.
Unmanned aerial vehicles have evolved from being tools of reconnaissance to being used as contemporary weapons. Drones have become a means and has changed the way wars, especially low-intensity conflict, are being waged.
We will share the to the UK government, the threat is real, noting that joint efforts against the common enemy is the way out.
The threat is global, and terrorists do not respect boundaries, so neither should we in this respect.
The program has stakeholders from the security and transportation sectors. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA.
If you just joined us, this is the Network News at 9. Time for a break. Please stay. Thank you for staying. With significant support of medical facilities to health institutions in the North-East sub-region, the North-East Development Commission, NEDC, is turning attention to improving capacities of health personnel for quality service delivery. The NEDC is now championing a Train the Trainers program on North-East collaboration for cervical cancer elimination. Emmanuel Akila reports.
One is famous. For 3 days, these health experts drawn from the North-East sub-region would receive training on screening, detection, and treatment of cervical cancer, a life-threatening disease that affects mostly women who cannot afford a treatment, which is why the North-East Development Commission sees the need to intervene.
The mission of the Commission is to touch the lives of the people, at the grassroots most especially.
Cervical cancer is a major burden throughout the world. It's a global public health problem, and it particularly mostly affects sub-Saharan Africa.
The Primary Healthcare Development Agency Health Education Team will also further uptake of the vaccine for human papilloma virus. All this is aimed at identifying, treating, and preventing cervical cancer.
After the training, they would have been equipped to step down the knowledge to healthcare workers in their respective states to expand the tackle against the disease.
I lost an elder sister from cervical cancer. Why did I lose that? Because she has been going, not because she was not going to the
to the healthcare personnel. She was going there, but because of lack of awareness.
The participants visit some health facilities in Gombe State for practical sessions on examination and treatment of cervical cancer. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
And away from health, the need for proper understanding of the provisions of the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Development Act 2010 to enhance justice delivery across the country has been emphasized. This was at a workshop for the Akwa Ibom State Judiciary organized by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board in Uyo. Kelvin Samuel reports.
Sensitization workshop for the Akwa Ibom State Judiciary, organized by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, aims at enhancing harmonious relationship. Participants here are also to have clearer understanding of the provisions of the Nigerian Oil and Gas Content Development Act 2010.
The board is doing an amazing work in pushing this narrative to ensure that the stakeholders are aware, sensitized and empowered to be able to function properly at the highest echelon.
To ensure speedy resolution of disputes, which in turn serves to assure...
We do sincerely apologize for the hitch in that report. Moving on now, as part of efforts at eradicating cybercrime and other vices associated with the modern era in Nigeria, a cybercrime awareness sensitization is ongoing by the Federal Ministry of Justice. This is to enlighten Nigerians to think twice about the repercussions before they click on that suspicious link. The roadwalk by officials of the ministry took them round the Three Arms Zone, central area, Abuja, where they disseminated the central message: cybersecurity is the duty of all.
Space to commit cybercrime. Together that we are driving this message out there to say that cybercrime is real and we need to be able to surf the net, to use the nets safely and responsibly.
I'm looking at the statistics today. About 60% of Nigerian population are under the age of 25, and you see that a lot of these young persons have flair for having good things of life. And one of the ways, if they don't get it in a positive way, they tend to go into the cybercrime way. And looking at what the Ministry of Justice did today is to actually tell the youth and tell the general public that cybercrime is not a way to go.
Over 100 suspects arrested this year are facing prosecution for allegedly engaging in cybercrimes, a testament of the anti-graft agency's commitment to ridding society of the act. In Abuja, Olabodarewa, NTA News.
Another news, the leadership of the 10th National Assembly says it will do everything possible to ensure rule of law remains the foundation of Nigeria's democracy. This was the stand of the Senate President and other speakers at a two-day national workshop on legislative compliance organized for ministries, departments and agencies of government. National Assembly correspondent Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
Rise, we were taught the moment you hear national anthem, you must stand still. You don't move. It is still, I call it a soft law, that we're supposed to obey it. But today, national anthem will be sung and you see people moving about.
This set the tone of discussion with the theme, the imperative of legislative compliance in deepening democracy and good governance. The interactive session engages heads of MDAs on the need for greater monitoring and ensure high level of compliance, transparency, commitment and professionalism to attain good governance.
The mood of the current Senate is that non-compliance with our enactments and legally made decisions will not be tolerated.
There's no democracy that can survive or grow without rule of law. And the substitute or the alternative to rule of law, all of us know, can only be anarchy.
Our greatest constraint in this country is complying with the laws. If we are able to comply with the present laws as they are in this country, the country will be better off.
Speakers at the event are of the view that Until and unless due process is being taken seriously in governance, non-compliance would continue to be seen as normality. It is expected that the two-day conference would open up new ways, harvest ideas, and reach resolutions that will be of benefit to full compliance to rule of law by all tiers of government. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives Committee on Health Institutions has expressed dismay over the continuing level of brain drain in the health sector, expressing readiness to help medical institutions in the country to stem the tide. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim reports that issues of infrastructure and finances were tabled when members paid an oversight visit to the National Hospital, Abuja.
Hospital Abuja is one of the foremost tertiary health institutions and a referral hospital in Nigeria. Over the years, the institution has witnessed significant growth, but not without some challenges, among which is the shortage of manpower, dwindling resources, and infrastructural deficits. Despite this, the hospital says it is not deterred as the well-being of the citizens remains paramount.
We do not reject any staff, any citizen of Nigeria. Financials, statuses, and all have never ever impeded our services to the citizens of the country. The staff and management of National Hospital are doing their best to ensure the best healthcare that Nigerians can receive.
Assessing the hospital, members of the committee say the hospital has the capacity to do better with the necessary assistance.
This 10th Assembly will do everything possible to support the healthcare system. We will do everything to support the delivery, equipping of our hospitals, be it PPP arrangement, those that the hospital will be able to procure, those that will get through intervention.
The committee is expected to visit other government-owned health facilities. Salwa Khalil, NTA News.
Many thanks, Sawa. Now towards harnessing potential and opportunities inherent in the convergence of diverse cultures of the world through audio-visual medium, the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, has played host to the Nigerian Film Corporation. This is part of preparations towards the 2023 edition of the Zuma Film Festival, billed to hold in December. Omenka Amarachuku reports.
Nigerian film is arguably one of the largest employers of labor parts from the formal sector of the economy. This is why the Nigerian Film Corporation is synergizing the largest TV network in Africa, the NTA, to promote one of the biggest platforms, the 2023 Zuma Film Festival.
So we are here to strengthen our capacity so that our deliverables under the Renewed Hope agenda, particularly under the 8-point agenda of my ministry, Ministry of Arts, Culture, and the Creative Economy, shall be robustly delivered.
For the Director General of Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos, NTA will continue to partner reputable agencies for the promotion of Nigerian culture by projecting the true African perspectives.
And as a public medium and that is there to add value, we've been there and will continue to be there. We shall do everything possible to make sure that we draw all the necessary attention to the forthcoming festival and also treat it with all seriousness. And I'm also equally happy that it has started attracting foreign attention and also sponsors. I knew very well how it started. It was very difficult.
This collaboration between the management of the NTA and the Nigerian Film Corporation will assist in promotion of peace and development through the audio-visual medium. In Abuja, Omenka Marchuku, NTA News.
Let's pause here in Abuja and let Adiola feed us with more news from Lagos. Adiola, it's over to you.
Yeah, right.
A group of civil society organizations has called on President Bola Tinubu to write a rejection letter to the World Health Organization concerning new amendments being negotiated by the Apex Health body under the International Health Regulations before 30th of November 2023. Diana Ajale, who attended a media briefing by the group, tagged Protecting Our Freedom and Safety, reports that the members strongly believe most of the articles in the document cover areas of domestic lives of Nigerians that should not be controlled by people outside the country.
Right to say no.
The primary objective of the World Health Organization is to promote health for all through global collaboration and coordination among nations. However, the ongoing attempt to change critical provision of the World Health Organization Charter, which seek to reduce the time period for rejection of future amendments from 18 to 10 months, as well as the period from enactment into enforcement from 24 to 12 months, without any health-related reason, is not sitting well with this group of civil society organization.
In effect, these amendments give the WHO the power to, at any time, suspend our constitutions and our human rights in international law in the name of an actual or potential health event. Under Article 61 of the International Health Regulations, each and every member nation has the authority to reject any or all of the amendments.
Some of the 307 new amendments include Article 1, which changes WHO's recommendations to nations from non-binding to binding legal instruments once the body has pronounced a public health emergency of international concern.
We are a sovereign nation, and that sovereignty must be protected. The right of average Nigerians must be protected irrespective of whatsoever any document or policy is coming from.
The Coalition Against the WHO International Health Regulations and Equity International Initiative said the article that says sovereign nations will no longer have the right to oppose WHO declaring a public health emergency of international concern in their jurisdictions, and many more will violate human rights and must not be acceptable in Nigeria. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Anointed University Worldwide will continue to serve as a viable intervention that impacts positively the psychological and spiritual well-being of future generations in the country's education sector. President of the institution, Professor George Aladeoba, stated this at the university's 25th Founders Day anniversary and award convocation for the class of 2023 students in Lagos. Musa Toliat has the details.
Great anointed! Great.
Governing Council of the Anointed University Worldwide exhibited gratitude to God for the journey so far.
May we continue to honor the legacy of our founders and build upon their vision as we strive towards an even brighter future for Anointed University.
The Class 23 doctorate degree candidates stood to be counted at the memorable event.
I hereby conferred on Pastor Wole Oladinu, who has fulfilled all the requirements and compiled and completed.
Executive diploma and leadership graduates were also presented with certificates.
With this course that I've gone through, I'll be able to make people understand that leadership is not just about authority, but it's more of you being able to influence your followers the right way, to do the right thing.
The inspirational convocation message dwelt on winning the battle of vision.
Winning the battle of vision. Every vision is a battle. And the journey began 25 years ago in the city of Akure, Ondo State. And we started. I asked God, is it a Bible school? God said, no, I'm not talking about Bible school. There are many Bible schools. He said, but a university.
Though a Christian-focused institution, Anointed University Worldwide promotes religious tolerance.
Anointed University have impacted so many lives. Some of our students, they are in the government department now. Some of them are in a higher position using the certificate to work.
We want to channel our energy on discovering the lives of people spiritually, because we find out that people have been so much looking at the area of academics alone, and it has really brought a setback
The account number is on the back of this
that we
brochure.
have presently. I'm a Muslim, but I'm the chairman of Anointed University Worldwide, based in South Africa. It's a Christian university, and I've decided to work with them to entrench this university, to carry the university to the next level.
Ordination into priesthood, ministry and Founders Day Thanksgiving was also accommodated at the event. In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
And those other reports from Lagos. The network news will continue after this break. Please stay with us.
Time we talk business. We start by telling you that a roadmap and implementation strategy that will ensure zero agro-commodities rejects in the international markets and ensuring safety of food and feed being consumed is the reason experts from across Nigeria and the United States of America are in Abuja. The experts believe that no matter how good and delicious food is, if it is not safe, it is not good at all. And they are saying enough of loss of lives from consumption of unsafe food and loss of money from export rejects. Hence the need for the accent of the food safety bill into law.
And most of these rejections come in because of the lack of food safety documentation.
I urge our partners in other sectors, especially agriculture, trade, science, technology and innovation and environment, as well as the academia and organized private sector to support the ministry in its commitment to providing appropriate policies, regulations, monitoring systems that ensure continuous improvement in food safety standards and practices.
This time, we bring the scale of political will, political authorization, institutional backing, alignment necessary to pass the law, finish the roadmap, get it going, and start to draw wins. Let's start to win for Nigeria. Let's show lesser food being rejected, right? Let's show larger volumes of trade going out.
Taking a look at the energy market, oil prices edged higher after top exporters Saudi Arabia and Russia reaffirmed their commitment to extra voluntary oil supply cuts until the end of the year. Brent crude futures settled 29 cents higher at $85.18 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was up 31 cents at $80.82 a barrel. And looking at stocks, the Nigerian Stock Exchange is currently enjoying a run of form as the all-share index has hit a new all-time high, closing today at 70,613.6 basis points, with market capitalization appreciating by 86 billion naira. A total of 449.2 million shares in 7,100 deals, corresponding to a market value of 5.444 billion naira, were traded. Today's data shows 15% improvement in volume, 29% decline in turnover, but 4% improvement in deals. The current market capitalization is 38.8 trillion naira. FBN Holdings recorded the highest volume of 59 million traded shares, followed by Consolidated Hallmark Insurance and Fidelity Bank. That is business news. Network news continues with Iyenre. Good to have you back.
Many thanks, Benny, and thank you for the update too. All right, back to our earlier report on the workshop for the Akwa Ibom State Judiciary organized by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board in Uyo. Kelvin Samuel has the report.
This sensitization workshop for the Akwa Ibom State Judiciary, organized by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, aims at enhancing harmonious relationship. Participants here are also to have clearer understanding of the provisions of the Nigerian Oil and Gas Content Development Act 2010.
The board is doing an amazing work in pushing this narrative to ensure that the stakeholders are aware, sensitized and empowered to be able to function properly at the highest echelon.
To ensure speedy resolution of disputes, which in turn serves to assure investors and other major players in the oil and gas industry that their investments are safe.
Dwelling on the topics, the role of the court in attaining the objectives of the Nigerian Oil and Content Development Act 2010, legal and economic implications of breaches, legal framework for Nigerian content implementation. Speakers x-rayed different components of the Act for easy adjudication.
The whole idea is to ensure that activities are domiciled in Nigeria. In the process, it will affect the economy of the country and possibly create jobs within the country when those activities are eventually domesticated.
The Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Development Act 2010 was enacted to build, promote, and develop in-country development through human capital development, technology transfer, and job creation.
Provides that the minister shall make regulation with requirements and targets for the growth of research and development in the Nigerian oil and gas industry.
So we had to organize this kind of workshop to keep reminding stakeholders that there is a purpose behind the enactment of the NOGIC Act, and that purpose is important in the interpretation of any case that comes before the court.
In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
Time for another break. Please stay. Let's have a bit of sports now, as the sports minister sets target for main organizing committee on National Sports Festival. For more on trending stories in the world of sports, let's join the Gift George.
24 National Sports Festival, scheduled to hold in Ogun State, Sports Minister John Eno has inaugurated the main organizing committee in Abuja, with charge to the members, chaired by the Permanent Secretary Ismaila Abubakar, to ensure a successful hosting of the game tagged Gateway Games 2024.
There is consistency. Means that there is seriousness. And that means, for example, that the private people, the corporate bodies, have a brand in the National Sports Festival. It's become a brand, isn't it? And therefore, it shouldn't depend on government alone.
The responsibility of organizing a befitting National Sports Festival rests squarely on our shoulders. It is therefore our intention to mobilize resources.
Ahead of the 2023-24 season, 1472 Football Club has been unveiled to feature in the second tier of Nigerian football, the Nigerian National League (NNL). The team's unveiling with a sensation show from the Teslim Balogun Stadium to Union Bank Sports Club had prominent citizens of Suwile local government area where it is based in attendance. The club management says the club, named after the year the city of Lagos was founded by a Portuguese explorer who revolutionized football in Nigeria.
Football as a business, football as entertainment, so there are all lots of things that have been envisioned for this football club.
In boxing, in its bid to take youth off the street and engage them productively, former boxer Emeka Agba, with the approval of the Nigerian Boxing Board of Control, is set to stage a boxing show tagged Ring Matador, scheduled for the 12th of November 2023, with 6 bouts scheduled for the night. This is the 67th bout, 6 in a month, for the Nigerian Boxing Board of Control.
I will do my best to make our boxing, the boxing in Nigeria, to be competitive globally.
Samuel Ebue of Oshodi will take on Godwin Ambrose of the Nigerian Army in the star bout. With sports updates, Gift George, NTA News.
And that concludes NTA Network News tonight. Many thanks for investing your time with us. Have a good night.